Have you heard there's a special term for a baby born on leap year? Do you know this term? I was not familiar with this term until I heard it today.
No, because all I've heard is Leap Baby, and I've only known one person in my life that was born on that day. So no, I don't know.
So the term they were using today, we were filming this baby that was born today on leap year, on April 29th. February 29th.
Yep.
Leapling.
Leapling.
Yeah, leapling.
Like a halfling, but a leap. I haven't heard that. That's cool though.
Yeah. Welcome back to Screen Time. I'm your host, Josh Youngbar, and I have my co-host with me today, Jered.
It's easy to do nothing. It's hard to forgive.
Oh. So where was that in this which episode was that in? You know?
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. If
I don't remember that, but that's okay. I don't,
yeah, it might have been from the anime then, but
that's right. I mean,
that was a great quote. So there you go.
Yeah. So today we are going to talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender live action series, just episode 1 through 3, just to kind of whet our appetites on it and see if we liked it. And then next week we're gonna start covering Shogun on FX, and
yes,
and we'll probably discuss episode 1 and 2 next week. But yeah, so before we get into Avatar, what else you been watching?
Yeah, I got 3. Thought about talking about a movie too, but I didn't finish it. But it was pretty exciting that I wanted to talk about it, but I might save it for next week until I finish it. But I'll mention it at least. Poor Things. You've heard this movie, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been waiting for it. That's another one that finally came out on VOD. So
nice. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, because I heard a lot of really good things about it. So I've been wanting to watch it. So anyway, I'll talk about it next week because I haven't finished it. All right, so 3 TV shows. This first one is just really nostalgic for me, and I just wanted to watch it. Is the original X-Men animated series.
Nice.
Yeah, because I haven't watched it since in the 90s.
I've been thinking about this since the trailer came out for the new.
That's what made me think of it. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, sick. I forgot that they're like, because it's most of the same actors again, right? Like, didn't they get a lot of them back?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it, but
that's what I heard.
I mean, the new, like, it has a really cool like retro art style, but like still has a little bit more updated animation.
Yeah, and I assume they're going to try to keep the style of the original, but it's going to be way higher.
So how were you were watching? I guess you were.
I'm trying to remember because it was. So like when it first aired was like early 90s, right? I think.
Yes, because I mean.
So I wouldn't have watched it then.
Yeah, you see, which is when I was watching it.
Right.
Because I remember we would, if I wasn't even going to be home on a Saturday, we would tape it on the VHS player, because that's how you recorded things back
that's
then.
Right.
So you could watch it if you weren't home.
Yep.
Yeah, because it would be like new episodes on Saturday mornings. And
yeah, it was always Saturday mornings. I remember that. Yeah.
But I do. Yeah, I wanted to go check it because it's such a. Yeah.
And I haven't seen it at all since then. I'm like, and after seeing the trailer for them bringing it back, I'm like, I'm gonna watch this because I just know it's gonna be. And I remember loving it, and I'm like, there's probably gonna be some things that are bad about it, but that's always the risk you have with something that's very nostalgic in your head. And if you go back, you're like, do I want to ruin this? Because a lot of times
Sometimes
it does ruin it.
And then you're like, oh yeah, it's not as good as I remember. And then now it's like, it's ruined.
And then it's ruined. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. There was a word for it. I heard a couple people say it in a different way, like your nostalgia glasses or goggles, or someone calls it that, like, or where it's like you.
Well, there's still. I mean, I've heard people talk about that,
but I guess that's different because it's more just your actual nostalgia, remembering it.
Right. Well, I've heard people say even if you go back and rewatch something and you like it still more than it,
which I'll probably mention that this time. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, instead of someone watching it,
it's more of a nostalgia bias. Yeah, you have towards it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is some also like I did. not to go off on a tangent, I won't. I'll just mention I did go back and what was it recently? Like, no, I guess this would have been because I would have mentioned on the pod, so it must have been right before we started the pod. I watched the original X-Men movies again, and I was like, I'm like, I remember really liking them, but then at the same time, like, I remember them being pretty bad too.
Yeah. Especially the third.
It was the third one, yeah.
Third one's really.
So because I'm like, from what I remembered, I was like, I remember the second one being the best of the three.
Yeah, I feel like that. I remember it being the strongest one.
And so I watched all three of them again. Like, so this would have been like probably a year ago now.
Yeah, last summer.
Yeah, and I mean that's still true, but I was like, there is some cheesy stuff, and I'm like, yeah, these are actually pretty sick. And I think that probably is partial to that nostalgia because, I mean, I remember loving them when they came out.
Also, crazy good cast in those.
Yes, that's another thing is seeing like everyone in it. Yeah,
like Halle Berry and
as Storm. Yeah,
and then crap, what's his name playing Cyclops and
James Marsden.
Yeah, and then of course Hugh Jackman was Wolverine. I mean, just and
that's
of
actually,
course what's his name is Professor X.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. And then you have.
I mean, like I like all. I mean, that's.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. Well, Magneto's Ian McKellen.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And even Beast, because I forgot was.
Yes.
Oh shoot. Fraser guy.
Kelsey Grammer.
I couldn't remember his name. It's like everyone, and even is it? No, it's Rogue. Not. I get them mixed up. Not Rogue.
Jubilee.
No.
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey. Yeah, so not Jean Grey, so it was Rogue, because I get those two mixed up. Rogue was the girl from True Blood. I forget her name, but she's like super young in it.
Oh, Anna Paquin.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I know you did.
So that's Rogue.
Right, that's who that was.
And then Jean Grey is well, she's been in a lot, but I'd always just because she's very.
Bond.
I was say she's very memorable in GoldenEye. Yeah,
yes.
That's who Jean Grey is.
Ivana,
but yeah, the whole
Ivana on the top.
Yeah, on the top. Yeah. So anyway, it's funny we're talking about X-Men. This is not even on the list. I mean, well, it's adjacent. These are the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Live action. But anyway, they were still pretty sick actually, and some stuff still held up, which I was surprised because it was the first one was in 2000, I think.
Yeah.
The opening sequence was it was so funny. It was so 2000, like so much. It was great though. I was like, this is cool because it's like now at this point it's like almost like even that is like kind of cool even though it's bad.
Yeah,
you know, because anything retro at a certain point, you know, you get to that spot where you're like, this is still really cool even though it's bad. Yeah. So, but anyway, the animated series, which is what I did watch this past week, 2 episodes. And this one, I hadn't seen and I don't know. I was probably like, it was probably late 90s, maybe early 2000s. So let's say if it was 97, then, which is that why they're calling the new one 97? Is that when the show ended?
Probably.
I'm assuming.
Probably.
Yeah. I probably watched it around then, or let's say, so I would have been 10, or let's say like 12 or 13. So like right around 2000. And yeah, I mean, I loved it. And I mean, we have to start with the theme song because then watching this time, I was like, this theme song is still so sick.
Good. So good.
Actually, the whole intro, like not even just the guitar part, which is the part that everyone knows that's sick. Yeah. The whole song is so good. Yeah. And even the intro sequence, like what they show, I was like, I wish they will redo that like frame for frame sometime. I think that'd be so cool in a live action way. I don't know if they ever will, but I think that would be awesome.
That would be. Well, I mean, the fact that they're going back and remaking the animation, I could see them trying to do that for like when they finally start bringing them back as live action and on the Marvel side of the actual
that's
Marvel
true.
Cinematic
but then
universe.
It would still be a long time. You have to wait till they bring them all back in and actually do a full X-Men movie again.
Because the other thing that we've never had live action is Gambit.
We did, but it was in a really bad movie.
What movie was he in?
X-Men Origins Wolverine, and he was in it for.
I never watched that movie.
Actually, I watched that one again recently too, and I was still like, because that's where you see Deadpool for the first time.
Oh, okay.
And he was not great in it. He's good in
Did
like
Ryan
one.
Reynolds play him in that?
Yeah, and what's funny is, so actually I watched that again also around the same time. This is gonna take a while because we're going
Getting
off
a
on
little,
this.
that's all right. I don't really have much that I watched.
Okay, all right. I watched that one. I think around the same time because I was kind of in like a. I think it was when we first started hearing all the Deadpool 3 rumors, and I was getting so excited because those rumors went back at least a year.
I mean, well, the fan fiction made, well, not even, it wasn't really fan fiction because he helped produce it, the director and Ryan Reynolds. They made
Oh
that
yeah.
basically proof of concept is a better idea,
Mm-hmm.
and that got the fans like, so they're like basically, they ended up having to make it almost because like people were just like, this would be amazing, you got to do this. And
Yeah, and I think it was because of all that, just hearing that. Obviously, the first thing we heard was that he got Hugh Jackman back, even though he already said after Logan, he's like, "I'm not doing this again,"
Yeah.
because it's like, and even as,
can't wait for Deadpool 3.
oh man, I know. And maybe in that movie, maybe they'll do a quick little shot since they're gonna have them all. Maybe they'll do like
a tease for, maybe even a tease for like where X-Men's going.
Yeah. Well, I just mean, or even just bringing this on a little bit because they did for a second in Doctor Strange, but it was when Xavier came out, which was cool. But I want them to actually do that. And anyway, I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, no, it was X. So it was the first Wolverine movie that they did.
Mm.
So I think it was like 2007.
I
or
actually
something.
don't know that I've seen any of the Wolverine movies because even I haven't even seen the Logan one.
Oh, really?
And I know it's supposed to be really good.
Yeah, Logan's so good. Basically, you wouldn't really call it a trilogy, although I guess they still all connect. So there technically is 3 Wolverine movies because it's like X-Men Origins Wolverine was the first one. I think that was the name of it. Then it was The Wolverine, which actually that one was pretty good too. I haven't gone back, but I remember it being good. I think he goes to Japan in that one. I want to say.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
No, I don't. I haven't seen all 3 of them. I just remember the trailers and just.
Okay, yeah. That one was. I don't remember when that one came out, but and then Logan. After Logan, he was like, because I mean, you always would hear about just like what he had to do to get his body in that shape, and he was just like, I'm tired of doing this.
Yeah, of course.
And then, obviously, as you get older, I can't imagine how much harder.
Yes.
So like him doing it again, like. I don't know. I'm surprised they must have just gave him as much money as he wanted to come back one more time because I mean him and Ryan Reynolds are they seem like pretty good.
Yeah,
good friends.
they're always been like because they always do all like the back and forth on like social media that they've been doing for years.
True, yeah.
And so yeah, I think it probably wasn't about money for him.
Yeah,
I
mean he doesn't need it at this point, but
but if you want to, I mean, if you think it's gonna be fun, and you get to make something with your friend, and and you're like, oh, and you're like, hey, this actually is like looks like a good script and a good idea.
Yeah,
and you're like, yeah, let's do it. I know it'll be hard to get back in shape, but that's what testosterone's for.
There you go. Yeah. Well, also
just pop this tea.
Yeah. Also, probably also what got him to do it, not just him, is because like we don't know because there's so many rumors, but I think they try to get as many of those actors we just mentioned to come back for Deadpool 3 of that original X-Men cast. There's going to be some at least.
That'd be wild.
So like that's probably also like just him being able to hang out with all of them again too. So I don't know, but anyway, all that aside, the animated show, it's it's funny like watching because it's still not like the quality wise like of the visuals, like they can't really do much with. Maybe they can now with AI upscaling. I don't know how that works now, but I've been seeing people do that with older stuff now.
Yeah, right.
So, but it was great though. I actually really liked it. The first 2 episodes, actually like a 2-parter. That's why I kind of watched it that way. The 2 episodes. So, and I think that they set it up so well too because they introduce you, because this is probably for a lot of people like the introduction, this show for a lot of those characters. In the first episode, they give a little bit to every single one. So they set up every character so well in it. Some of the voice acting and some of the lines are cheesy, but still, I was like, this is awesome. And it was very, very nostalgic for me. So I wanted to mention it. We'll see how the new one is. I mean, I'll check it out when it comes out. It's pretty soon, right? I want to say in
Yeah.
like a couple of months.
Yeah, March, April. Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay.
What else are you watching?
So this other one, I kind of just went back to because it's completely finished now, and I was behind, and I want to finish it now. There's 3 seasons of it. This is let me get the full name because I just want to say Wu-Tang, but it's Wu-Tang: An American Saga. I don't know if you watched this at all. It's on Hulu.
I watched one episode. I watched the first episode. Didn't quite click with me, but I'd heard good things.
The beginning, because that was a while ago when I saw the beginning of it. It was pretty slow, I remember. But I mean, it's cool because it's basically their whole lives, like all the members. And they do so well with the time period too, because actually I guess it's technically late 80s when it starts, but I mean mainly all the 90s where like all the big stuff happens. And where I'm at now, we're in the 90s, and I think one of the coolest things is seeing the music industry in that time. I love seeing that, in whether it's a movie or show. There was a show called Vinyl that I loved on HBO I was so mad that they never did a second season, but that was the music industry in the 70s, and it was amazing. So this is the 90s. I mean, it's more the rap scene, but still, I mean, that was a huge thing in the 90s anyway. And every actor they got, because they have been in some other stuff now, but every actor they got is so good in this. And not only talks like them, but their mannerism and everything, like they must have really. Now I know some of the guys are like either producers on the show, or I don't know if they did any directing or anything, but I see their names come up on it, so I know they're involved in some way with the show. But it is really good. I do remember the beginning though, being not as good. It's one of the few shows I think gets better as it goes, because I'm like almost to the 3rd season, which is the final season, and it's just gotten better. So I went back to it because I stopped watching it a while ago, and so I'm trying to finish it up now. And yeah, it's awesome. And it's just, yeah, especially later, obviously, because it's way more interesting when you see them actually like at their biggest level of fame.
Nice.
Is just really cool. And they do everything involving with the music is very accurate too, which I love.
That's cool.
Even like with you see them record or in the studio, or even when he's writing stuff at home in his basement, all that stuff is done. Which I imagine having some of the guys actually involved helps with that, because
Absolutely,
they're basically telling like, yeah, this is how I did it, or this is how this went, So, okay, and the last one is I'm finally finishing up, because this ended a little while ago too. The other 2 on Max.
Oh yes.
Did you? I'm guessing you finished it.
Oh yeah. Well, watched it when they came out.
Yeah, that was not that long ago, right?
Sometime last year.
Yeah,
sometime last year.
And this is
so good.
I know it
Final
is.
season was so good.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to say. Is this is another one? Speaking of shows that it was really funny at the start, but the last season, I'm like, this is probably the best it's been.
I would agree. Like
I was amazed.
Didn't hold back. Not hold back.
And my other favorite thing about the show is, because I think not on a pod, but I remember you and I talking about how like I love it. They make fun of everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're doing comedy, I feel like that's what you should do.
Yeah.
Obviously South Park does this, which is great, but like, yeah, they make fun of everything, and they make fun of like the entertainment and Hollywood industry so much, and that's some of my favorite parts. Is just like the whole Hollywood side and how much they make fun of it in general is just great. But yeah, I only have 3 episodes left. Yeah, the one I just watched is they went to the play about AIDS.
Nice.
That was the last. Yeah, that was the one I just watched. Yeah, it's dude.
Well, this the whole thing about doing good.
Mhm.
That whole storyline is so good.
And they just not only the actors but the characters. What they do with the characters is just so great, because like, the main man. I'm gonna be bad with the names, but The main guy, you know, what he reminds me of his comedy is it's very Jason Bateman. Have you noticed that?
Mm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
his like the way he responds to things and like
Yeah.
kind of the way he
I
does
know
his
Sean. Yeah.
comedy.
Uh-huh.
He's great. He's one of my favorites. But then also his sister's boyfriend.
Yes. Which he's in the new season of
Yeah, he was
uh,
in something else
he's
recently.
of Abbott Elementary.
Oh, is he nice?
Yes. Yeah.
I saw him in something else though.
Yeah. I feel like maybe I feel like I did too, but
Yo, you
um,
know what it was? She-Hulk. That's what it was, and that was bad.
yeah.
But I like him. He's
Yeah.
dude. He's
Yeah. He's great.
because he's always so nice
Yeah.
and like just chill,
Yeah.
and it's just I love that
Um.
character. And obviously their mom, and
Yeah.
and then obviously Chase.
Yeah.
Just everything happens with him.
Oh, he starts dating that other girl.
Yeah, that's the episode. Actually, I think that's
It's
the
same
one.
episode.
I think that's the one. Yeah, yeah, because
Oh,
he brings her to the play. I think it's the first time he like is seen out with her. Yeah,
oh.
it's great.
And then when the brother again, I don't remember their names, especially now I haven't watched.
I
them
know
all.
I can't
But
remember the
when
brother and sister's
yeah,
names.
when he gets the part for like the gay character.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's like keeps getting Disney.
That was one of my favorite parts where he's like trying to like he's like spying on other people's apartments trying to see if they'll watch his like streaming movie or what.
Yes.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like him as like a doctor or something, right? Or it was some kind of medical. I'm trying to remember like
Yeah.
movie,
Yes.
and he was like trying to promote it a bunch. Like
Yeah. And then
that was
like,
great
and
too.
then did you get the part where then when he like some other random show that he did, there was like this genre fantasy show or something, and like it suddenly like he was like this side character in it, and suddenly he blew up, and they wanted to do a whole thing. Maybe you haven't got that. Maybe
No, that must be like the last couple
couple
episodes.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's funny too.
I wanted to shout it out because it is.
It is very good comedy.
Yeah, and I mean maybe they just didn't want to do it anymore because this could have gone.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And I mean I don't know how the third season ends, but like I assume they could have kept it going. But
Yeah, no, they probably just all started getting.
I'm sure they're all
the
doing
actors
other
are all
things.
doing other
Yeah.
things, and just wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to see because I thought I had another note about. Yeah. No, that was it. Which I don't know. Are you going to mention Shogun?
Well, so
We we're going to
don't
talk
wanna-
about it a
yeah,
lot,
yeah,
but I
so-
just wanted to
yeah, so you
mention it.
mentioned
up top.
briefly. Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that we're going to cover it soon because
we're gonna
I
cover it
was
because we both watched part of episode
part
one,
of the first. Yeah.
and I didn't even finish episode one, but it's really good.
Yeah. Already I was like, this is so
And
good.
Yeah, so we're gonna cover that next, and
Yeah.
probably cover that for the next few weeks till it's finished.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I watched part of that, and then like I said, I didn't watch much. And then we rewatched Dune Part 1 in preparation for this weekend.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. Like I mean, and then of course Avatar, 3 episodes that we're
Mhm.
going to
Yep.
talk about here.
Yep. We're going to talk about that.
That's about all I had time, and our movie. That's
Oh
all
yeah.
I-
Yeah.
That's all our time I had to watch it. I've just been busy. I worked a lot on Saturday.
Yeah.
But I did want to, like, since we were talking about Marvel and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the cast for Fantastic Four got announced in the last week.
It did. Oh, everyone? Because
The
I
main-
only
the main-
saw a
the
few.
main four.
Okay.
Yeah, the main four. Yeah.
Okay.
So who'd you see?
I just know our boy from The Bear and
Yeah.
Andor.
Yeah.
And what else was he in recently? Oh, well, I guess he was in The Punisher. It was the first
Yeah.
thing he was kind of big in. But
Yeah.
That guy
The
for-
bear. Yeah.
what is his name? The
Evan
actor's
Moss.
Yeah, Evan Moss
Bacharach.
Bacharach. Yeah.
Bacharach.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's playing the Thing,
That's all.
which also means, like, obviously halftime he won't look like himself.
No.
Then you have Pedro Pascal is playing Mr. Fantastic.
Okay. That was a rumor. I wasn't sure if that was confirmed
Yeah,
or not.
it's
Okay.
confirmed.
Okay.
And then you have Joseph Quinn from
Who's that?
the most recent from Stranger Things season 3 and 4. He's like
Which character in Stranger Things?
he's the older brother to this guy.
Oh,
older brother to
yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
He's gonna play Johnny Storm, the Human Torch.
That's cool because I haven't seen that guy in really anything else, and he was great in that
Yeah, and then
season.
we have Vanessa Kirby's playing Sue Storm.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love her.
yeah. So it's think it's, well cast and not obvious choices
No,
so it's more interesting choices. So
because I remember the rumor before that. I think they were trying to get Adam Driver, or I think it was Adam Driver and someone else.
I know for a while they wanted what's his name, John Blake's name from The Office that ended up doing it in
Oh, John Krasinski.
John
Yeah,
Krasinski. Yeah, like that was like a long rumor. Of,
that
like,
was a long rumor, but and I
then, of
think
course,
that's why they put
they
him.
did the
Yeah.
in the multiverse of madness. They
Which
kinda
I
did the
guess
teaser.
is I guess they decided on that because like if he was actually going to do it, they wouldn't have put him in there because like
right. Yeah.
if you bring back him as it's like
Yeah.
that's going to get confusing.
Anyway, I just thought that was interesting because that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Vanessa Kirby is well, I first saw her in The Crown in Mission Impossible,
Mission
but
Impossible, yeah.
she was awesome in Napoleon.
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah.
watched that still.
Yeah. I mentioned that a while back. That movie's great. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I think that's everything. What was the thing cuz now I'm just thinking of Ridley Scott cuz he did Napoleon. What was the thing you were mentioning? Is he the one doing the Beatles stuff or is that Sam Mendes?
Sam Mendes doing the Beatles for
Ridley Scott's doing Bee Gees.
the Bee Gees.
That's
yeah,
what it
the
was.
Bee Gees, yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna get into Avatar live action episodes 1 through 3. We have joining us Kirsten.
Mm-hmm.
So Kirsten, how many times? How often have you watched the anime version of Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Too many times.
Too many.
Yeah. So
So you're
I've
the
never
expert.
watched. I've never watched the animated version. Jared, have you ever watched the animated version?
Very, very, very little.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So we brought on someone who is very familiar with the animated version to kind of weigh in as we discuss. So let's get into this. So before we get into like specifics, overall, what do you think of this live action?
You want me to start?
Yeah, the first 3 episodes, just in general.
All right. So I gotta look at my notes here for this. So the original one I feel like was kind of made for like kids and teens, right? Mainly, right? And this one, it's pretty similar, but it seems like it's a little more like adult in some areas. It
Yeah.
seems.
I can tell, like, from the anime, they added some things that seemed more like it's from, like, more for mature audiences.
Yeah, it does seem like that.
Compared to, I mean, like not mature,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that because I was like, I don't think all of this would probably be, in the original.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
because, like, they made, like, a potty joke at one point, and it kind of be like, one of the kids were like, I gotta pee, and then all the other ones like, me too, or something like that.
Right.
It was just, like, goofy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I had to keep that in mind watching it. So I knew it was kind of that vibe anyway. And I liked the first 2 episodes a decent amount. But then the 3rd episode, I was like, man, this is not great. I don't know. That 3rd one was. But yeah, I really like some of the characters in it a lot. And I was familiar with some of them just because they are pretty big characters just in general. But yeah.
I'm so excited, though, because I know one of my favorite characters are coming.
But not yet.
Not yet.
Not
No,
yet.
yeah, we haven't seen them yet. You sure up on
I know.
the. So, what'd you think of these?
Did you watch all 3?
3
Cool.
episodes? Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
You liking it?
Yeah.
So, how do you think it overall, just in general, how it compares to the animated version?
I don't know.
Yeah, you just like them both.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
So I mean, I think production wise, they definitely put money into this and
Yeah.
and stuff. And I mean, I feel like the actors in general, they're doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, like it definitely has like a child, or focus, like children. Like you're like, okay, this is definitely made for children. Like you're like, oh, if this was on Disney Plus, it would be like fit right in, right, kind of thing.
Which it was Nickelodeon, right?
Yes.
originally?
Yeah. So, So I think there's a little bit of like a cheesiness to it from that perspective, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was enjoyable.
You know what? I'd say like the one downside that kind of bugged me though, because there's a ton of CG in this,
Yes.
and some of it I was like, wow, this looks really good.
Yes.
But then the main thing was a lot of the areas they were at, I was like, did they go on location at all? Because some of the areas I'm like, man, this is just them. I don't know, the
Just a set
backgrounds.
with the greens.
That was the only thing that was kind of a bummer
Yeah.
in this.
I realized like one of the places they even changed places and it looked like the same place almost.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, reusing sets and things.
I already
yeah.
watched it 2 times of the 3 ones.
Oh, you watched the 3 episodes twice?
Maybe.
Hey, that's great.
It's good. It's good.
You're gonna know it all then.
You'll know them better than we
Yeah.
do. All right, so let's get into each episode. So I'm just going to read the synopsis for episode 1. An airbender comes to grips with his new reality as war erupts. A century later, a pair of Water Tribe siblings make a discovery that changes everything. All right, so let's get into what happened in this episode. So what's some of the things you liked about this episode that happened in this episode? Anybody want to go first?
I just want to say, I think one of my favorite characters is Appa.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that CG wise, I'm like, this looks really good.
Yeah.
So I like Appa a lot.
I really liked the part when he was like this, like whenever he was trying to explain like where his sky bison is, he was like, "Where's my sky bison?" And
He
then he
said,
just
like, a
went in
bunch.
the air, and then he was like, whenever the sky bison comes, he's like, "This is a sky bison."
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because he acts like everyone should know what a sky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
he's like-
and they're all like,
They're like,
"What?"
are you
What is a
talking
sky
about?
bison?
What is
Yeah.
that? They're so confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
So how did the start of this compare to the animation one? Like as far as like the story,
Like the very start,
or just how they get into it versus
because like the very start was like very different, and the way they found the iceberg, it's like a little different because like whenever in the anime she doesn't like try to get the boat back almost accidentally using it. She gets super mad at her brother and then she accidentally breaks it.
Gotcha. It's fine. I'm just moving. You're turning this way, so I'm just it's. I mean, yeah, it's like funny. I mean, it's a very very a classic cartoon to just like stumble upon and like and it's like suddenly, yeah, the
Actually, I don't know. We can talk about it later, like favorite characters, because I have a couple more
oh okay.
to talk about too, but we can
I
get there with that.
Yeah. But what else did you guys like in this episode? I mean, I thought it was interesting, like to really set it up, like what the airbenders were. Was it like the north or south air temple area, and like just kind of setting that up and seeing what that was like before it pretty much got destroyed, basically.
That's one thing I think is really cool, because actually I think the very first scene, I like how you see all the elements being used in different way, because it starts out with I don't know if we ever get the guy's name, because he I guess we're doing spoilers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he dies in the first scene, but like, he's doing earth and then they're all doing fire, and then we don't see water air till a little bit later, but that first scene was cool. So I think they do a really good job with all the different elements. I think it looks cool. No?
I have no clue what you just meant.
He's talking about the
The different elements. So like,
Like
the the first guy,
very opening scene where there's like somebody running.
the guy's running,
through.
Yeah.
and he does the earth.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I thought that was really cool. And then they're fighting him, and they're using fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think both of those look good. And then we see wind and
air, and all that
and
stuff they
water
do really
later.
well. I think like it
was cool.
Different. Obviously, it's such a key part to the
Mhm.
story. Like it's important to nail.
That's
those.
true. Yeah, they would have had to focus on that a lot.
It does look really cool. Especially, I mean, I think the Earth one would be the hardest one to kind of
To make it look real.
and it does look good. So what do you think of the our like bad guy Zuko or whatever?
Zuko.
Zuko, yeah.
Yeah,
Zuko.
it's with a Z.
Zuko.
Oh, it's Zuko. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the Fire Lord, but not the Fire Lord.
Yeah.
The guy. Is it his?
It's his son, right?
Is it his son?
Yeah, it's his son.
Okay. Because not the uncle, because the uncle is that's another one of my favorite characters.
Me
the
too.
uncle.
I love the
Uncle Iroh.
Yeah, Uncle Iroh. Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Just casually.
Played by one of our favorites.
Yeah.
The funny part
actors.
is, like, whenever they captured Aang, like, on the ship at the first time, he was like, I'll get you some common jasmine tea.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
He's funny. A lot of stuff that Uncle Iroh says is great.
Yeah.
Like he's like, was that to I think that was to, is it Zuko? You said
Zuko.
Yeah,
Is his name?
Zuko.
When he's like, this will give you vitality, and like when they're at the market.
Yeah.
That was funny.
And then, like, Zuko's just, like, sighing,
Yeah,
like,
he's
what is
like,
this
nah.
guy doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they discover him in the cave, this frozen, and then we get introduced to the Sokka and Katara.
Sokka?
Sokka. Yeah,
I was
Sokka.
about to say, who are you talking
Sokka
about?
and-
Socks?
Sorry,
Katara, yeah.
Sokka, sorry.
Yeah.
Sokka and Katara.
Yeah, I want to ask you how they did with these characters compared to the anime.
Okay.
Are they like pretty similar? They do a good job.
In, like, the first episode, they didn't give, like, more... Like, they still gave Sokka the derpy side, but he wasn't as derpy and stuff, which is, like, the sad part, because he was known for, like, the most derpy person.
Okay.
And he, like, never really got mad. He more just was, like being annoying middle schooler, like...
yeah.
And he sounds a little more like a grown man in that. Not really, but he still sounds a little too mature. It's like, are you Sokka?
Okay. What about Katara?
She seems pretty much the same.
Cool.
Nice. So then, we get to we introduced to them, and then
Well, I guess we could-
they find Aang.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we can talk about Aang too, like,
Yeah.
because he's the one I think actually like that actor's doing awesome. And again, I'll ask you though, like, is he doing well? Like, is that how the character is of Aang?
Yeah, basically.
Cool.
They just like, I could tell they left out like some of those parts that kind of like was like, oh, but he didn't do like a silly thing that I remembered from it. But it was more, I think they also left it out because it was more like doing with like airbending. So it would have taken more effort and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Zuko arrives with the tribe, and they start attacking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course then Aang kind of gives himself up to save the tribe.
This is when Katara is still trying to like harness her water abilities, right? She can't really do much yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then they decide, Katara and what's her brother's name? How do you say it again?
Sokka.
Sokka.
Yeah.
Katara and Sokka decide that they're gonna try to help and save Aang, but of course
More
Aang,
Katara.
but then Aang doesn't really need helping, does he?
Mm-mm.
No.
The funny part is he did it even quicker in the anime. Like, they were just walking him to the cell, and he like uses like airbending, and he flips around, and he's just like running for his life.
Nice.
Yes. So then he gets free, but then they decide to still go with him and help him learn more about his powers. And so then they return to the Southern Air Temple, which, there's the sad moment when he realizes his mentor, which, I mean, yeah, if it's been 100 years, you probably suspect that he's not around anymore, even, died of old age. But he finds out he was killed up there. And so then he has a moment. But then we get to see our first example of like what the Avatar might be able to do.
What is the word for it when he transforms? Is there a word for it? I don't know. Did they say it like
the Avatar state? That's what
Avatar
it's called.
state? There it is.
State.
Okay, I knew it was something.
All right.
It's his most ultimate state.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So that's pretty much the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then there's something we missed in the first episode that was important.
Not really, but there's something.
All right. What else?
I'm pretty sure this was the first episode because then they leave this other temple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how they find Momo, the little flying lemur. Momo's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
he's so
great, too.
evil and mischievous.
Nice. Yeah, that's right. They did find him there.
Yeah.
He's trying to steal the food out of their backpack.
I don't know if he said
Maybe
it.
that was the beginning of the second. I don't know. It is around there somewhere. Yeah.
But I remember like in the anime, I don't know if he's like they did it in the live action, but in the anime, he's like, it's so sad because Aang is like, it's only me and you here, buddy. We're the only ones left of this place. And it's kind of sad because it's like, it is true, but at the same time, it's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he is a cute little mischievous.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah. So then we'll get
So
into
that's someone else too. It's like both of the animal characters. Like I think
Really
that's
well
where I think that's where it looks the best and most realistic. I think it was more like sometimes. Well, no, when they're actually using the fire, like that looks good. I guess it's more some of the backgrounds,
which is
probably
maybe less CG and more just
I don't know,
set design and stuff.
Yeah.
So then episode 2, Aang, Katara, and Sokka
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
arrive at a small island home to elite warriors named after Avatar Kyoshi.
Mm-hmm.
The Fire Nation gets wind of Avatar's whereabouts. All right, so what'd you like in this episode?
A lot.
Yeah, okay.
And though I do think this happened like in the anime, I'm pretty sure they left out like a major part about Kyoshi Island, right? That's how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a big major part.
Really?
The way that he gets into the like state, they left out like that whole part from the anime and they made it like different.
Okay.
Which is like, it's weird because, yeah, it's just.
So what happens in the anime that's different? Do you remember?
Kinda.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, so the it's interesting that it's an island of like warrior women, right? Like there's no men there. So
Mm-hmm.
then
And I that was another person I really liked was is her name Kyoshi?
no, that's the
That's the actual Avatar.
Yeah, it's the
the
Avatar.
previous Avatar.
Oh, what is her name then?
Her
that they
name
meet?
is I think I wrote it down. Suki.
Suki. Yeah,
Okay.
Suki.
Yeah, I like her. It was cool. Well, we'll get there at the end. I think the way she fight. Well, all of them, the way they fight, it's a cool style.
So Aang and them they threw the notebook he stole from Zuko. They end up going to Kyoshi Island, and then Katara starts learning waterbending better from the scroll that they left her.
Oh yeah,
Grand.
Grand, yeah.
Yeah. And then Sokka. Why can't I say?
Soka.
Because you want to say Ahsoka.
Yeah, Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Sokka.
Yeah.
Sokka starts learning to fight from Suki, and that was another scene where like I feel like the romantic tension might have been a little more than they would probably do.
Oh yeah,
in
it
the
seemed
anime.
it was pretty heavy. In
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And they
Yeah, probably
did-
not that way in the anime.
Yep.
I imagine. No. Yeah.
Not that part.
Yeah, I
Yep.
figured.
But and obviously, and he learned how to fight really quickly.
Yeah, he did.
Picked up on that, but either way, like you said, and so then Zuko shows up looking for Aang,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to start.
Hold up.
Okay. What did I skip something important?
The conflict. They try getting help from the guy because he come.
I'm trying to remember what
Which
guy.
guy?
Okay.
Yeah.
The grandpapa, Zuko's grandpapa, they go to a place and they're like, hey, can we get information and stuff?
Oh,
but they
well,
try
that's right.
not getting information at the same time
That's right.
about the avatar.
That's right.
And then the guy ends up showing up.
Yeah. So then that sends more people to the island than
Mm-hmm.
just Zuko, and
Which that guy also definitely seen him in something.
yeah, he seemed very familiar.
Yeah, I can't remember what. Oh, I think he was in Lost. Actually.
Well, was he? Because I know the main guy was in Lost. The main fire guy.
He was too. No, yeah.
Yeah.
So both of them are, I think, honestly, because the main fire guy, he was in like all of Lost, but
Is one-
the other
yeah.
one, he came in later.
Okay.
That's more fresh because we watched it like a year ago or something
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I forgot about that. Yeah. So they're trying to be sneaky about just trying to find out where they might have gone in the area. and
Yeah,
then
because
it alerts to, because then basically by the end of this episode, then all of the Fire Nation knows about the fact that the Avatar's back, which is important.
Just thought of he's in industry. Also, he's the boss.
Yes, he's the boss. That's what he's from.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I.
That's why I knew it was something else.
Yes.
There we
yeah,
go.
yeah. Yeah. He was in Lost too. That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like later on, it was like the last 2 seasons. I want to say.
Okay. Yeah. So then they get to fight scene, and the fight scene's actually pretty cool. Like
This one was sick. Yeah.
and pretty well done, choreographed and stuff. So, and we get to see Sokka use some of his new skills he learned.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, and even using I don't know what you would call them, like
The fans.
the fans that
Yeah.
are also
Those are
boomerangs.
awesome.
That are like, and he was able to even like knock back the fire with them and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's like what they were created for.
that's cool. Yeah.
I always just think of Katana from Mortal Kombat because she's the one that had
yes,
the
that's
strand.
true. Yeah. Yeah. So then, of course, Aang is up there trying to learn about the Kyoshi Avatar, and
That was funny because she's like trying to get him to snap out of it. She's like, they're coming. And he's
Yeah,
just
just,
like
like,
in
in
a
there.
whole nother.
And
then-
he's just like, please tell
Yeah.
me more. And
but
she's
then
just like,
so she ends up she ends up showing him like what the Avatar state power can do. And
Mhm,
she goes and like just kicks butt with those guys.
Oh, yeah.
As like a kind of like, I guess, an embodiment of the
it's her spirit
spirit. And then
from all the other
Her whole
avatars from the
outfit and
past
like
down.
was so cool looking.
yeah.
It was awesome. That's what I was wondering. Is that how it is in the anime? So like he actually embodies the spirit, like Aang, like he actually becomes that spirit.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically.
Okay.
It
I was
looked-
wondering how that
but
worked.
like it didn't look that much as like a ghost because in the thing it kind of looked more like a ghost. She actually looked like a woman,
Yeah,
like
she
in
did.
it, like a
Yeah.
like even more in like the animation cartoon.
Cartoon,
the,
sure, whatever.
the thing. And she looks like more realistic than it
Mhm.
looked in that because she kind of looked ghostly like at some points, but like in like the thing she was like walking, they even had like footsteps almost like her footprints.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't remember her
So-
looking that tall.
Yeah, she was pretty
they
big.
end up- so then they end up fighting off the guys and sending them running, and then it turns back into Aang. So then they take off to make sure that the Yoshi Island is not harmed anymore, because if they leave, then they know the bad guys won't come back to Fire Nation. One thing that surprised me, I'll say, is I kind of expected Suki to go with them. I figured, it was, I was just one of those normal, hey, picking up the crew.
Picking up the crew, yeah.
And you
just like One Piece, yeah.
Yeah, and it's classic, adventure type of. You meet and you introduce each one in an episode, and
Yeah.
So I was kind of expecting she's going to join the crew, but then they left and she didn't. So maybe later she does. I don't know, but but yeah, there was just something surprising, honestly.
Yeah, I know. I thought she was going to go with them too. The only other thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if it was at the end of this or it might be at the beginning of the next episode, is when Aang he goes to Katara. Okay, I want to make sure I remember her name. When she's really trying to get a better hold of her abilities, and he tries to help her, and what he says, I was like, this is very Star Wars. What he says to her.
It was in this one, I think.
It was in the third one.
No, it was in this one.
Or the second
Yeah.
one. Okay.
It was like
because then they end up starting to splash each other. And
yeah,
because
and
he's almost walking away crying, and she's just like, well, why don't you be my target practice?
Well, and then I think he even says something about bringing balance or something. I was like, wow, this is very.
He was like, my teachers are something about monks almost, and he was like, they taught me by finding the balance.
Yeah,
but he also says something like that in the first episode too.
Oh yeah.
Whenever they realize the fire ships are coming, but she only got it to hold it like a bubble.
Yep, just a bubble.
Yeah. So then, moving on to episode 3. News of a traitor puts the trio at odds in Omashu, where a
Omashu.
Huh?
It's right. You just said it weird.
I was gonna say, is that the right pronunciation?
I was like, did I say it wrong? Where a machinist and rebels with a charming leader muddle their plans to protect the Earth Kingdoms. All right. So, what'd you like about this episode? This third episode, or not like? What stood out to you?
This is the one I didn't really like.
Definitely the weakest of the 3.
It's building up.
Yeah.
It's building up.
But again,
I figured.
But
It's
at the
just,
same time, all the earthbending stuff looks really cool.
It does.
And
yeah.
you see a lot more of it here.
But they don't show that much.
Well, more than we've seen so far.
Yeah, but they do walk into weird walls. Whenever they open the walls and close it, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah. And then just all the, I don't know, all the engineering stuff that the guy did, which, I thought is interesting. Sokka, he's becoming a great fighter because he learned that from that. And then here he learns that he's actually a kind of an engineer as well. He has ideas for things.
No, that's the sad part though.
Why is that sad?
Because then then Sokka's because the guy, I don't remember his name, the crazy guy that's missing eyebrows or something. The crazy scientist guy.
Oh, the dad?
Yeah.
Daniel Pudi.
Yeah.
That's the actor's name.
Yeah, the actor's name. Yeah.
But
that's what I know.
he asked Sokka, and he's like, I bet your dad's proud of you. And it's just
yeah, you're right. It is a sad moment for that.
because then he's just yeah, kind of thing. Because they haven't seen their dad in forever.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't even know
Well,
if
and then
he's
also
alive.
in his tribe, it's not really celebrated to think like that, right? All they're worried about is being warriors, and right, he didn't have an opportunity to try to come up with new ideas in engineering back in his tribe. Right.
But they aren't that strict anymore. They just don't focus on stuff like that.
Gotcha. But yeah, I thought the little interesting travel system with that was kind of cool. Travels, the design of the town. Then we have our mischievous good guys that are maybe not so good. That figure out a way to I
find that entertaining.
they they lure Katara to their side briefly, right?
Yeah.
She kind of gets maybe by the cute leader on these guys.
Oh, right.
Then it turns out they're not so nice and not have good plans.
Nope.
Kind of the ones sabotaging and setting up bombs all over the place.
I was surprised how many of them there were, though.
Yeah.
When you finally saw them all, the
Yeah.
whole group.
So so they have that little mixeroo of like, oh, we think and then she's like, oh, realizing that they actually are the bad guys, and really the scientist engineer guy is just being blackmailed. And
But I don't know if I don't think this happens at all in the anime any later, but I just don't remember even that specific moment of them doing that bad thing. I don't remember that happening at all in the anime. That was a whole added on thing. The people that are like, hey, our families were gone or something.
yeah.
That people, they were still there. But what they did about the trying to blow up the king, they didn't try doing that.
Well, speaking that scene was kind of cool though, with when she used the fire or the water to kind of
Yeah.
create
Yeah, that
almost
was
like a
cool.
water bullet or
Yeah.
arrow, whatever you want to call it. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love how crazy their king looks.
Yeah.
Now, I had a question about, because this is just me probably being dumb and not know the source material at all, but when Katara first showed up, I was like, is that Korra? Because doesn't Korra wear the same kind of outfit?
I don't think that is, because whenever I watch that, I try watching it 5 billion times. It doesn't make that much sense. They were some people understood it and some people are like, I don't know what's happening in this show. But I don't think that's the same person.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. I think
But they have the same kind of outfit, right? Like they have
Maybe she's from the same
because-
tribe.
same tribe, maybe, yeah.
yeah, but I just can't because it was so confusing, but I know that isn't it because I remember seeing her as an old grandma, Katara and
Did
Aang.
you watch Korra also? Yeah.
Just I had trouble understanding it,
Yeah.
but I watched a pretty long while into
Okay.
it.
Yeah, and then so what Aang's story in this,
Mm-hmm.
because he's kind of moved to sidelines briefly, but then they go looking through the caves, right, with the kid in the wheelchair, kind of flying wheelchair thing.
Yeah.
And
Why
then
were they looking
get
in the caves?
because they thought that was the way to get in, right?
I don't know. That's the part I wasn't sure about.
Yeah, they were trying to get in because they were trying to almost find the Fire Nation and stuff. Get to the
get to the king.
Yeah, and then they were like, well, actually, I think up here and there, and we'll be able to get in. And then they...
Right.
Though,
Okay.
again, with the weird things, I think that kid showed up in a whole different time in the anime. Again. But I don't want to say anything because I'm not 100% sure, and then I don't want to spoil anything.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure they shifted some things around for the live action.
Yeah. That's the main thing I was wondering, is how different it would be from it. Because I know it's never going to be 1-to-1. Although One Piece seems to be pretty close from what Lucas said.
Yeah, but they still I think.
No, it still wasn't
dropped that.
exact. Yeah. It's never going to be exactly the same, but
Yeah. So what else would? And then Aang gets he gets captured, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of this, he gets captured.
yeah. Then we see the Fire Lord
Yes.
at the end again. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So we get we met him at the end of the last episode. I forgot to mention that, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of tease him, and that's when you see him. And then this one's where he tricks.
Isn't it they show him oh, Zuko's actually find him kind of
Yes.
thing. But I don't know if they showed the girl next to him. Then, yeah.
Yeah. Do we see the girl? the sister, or was that because I started watching a
Yeah.
little bit of episode 4, but I couldn't.
Me too.
It started, and I'm like, wait, I don't want to finish.
Yeah. Yeah, they did show.
His sister, basically, Zuko's sister.
That's who
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Azora, I think, something like that.
Okay.
yeah. And then they had the trick where she was like in with the other group that was trying to, like a different group of fire nation people that were trying to overtake the guy in charge because they didn't like how he was, trying to take over everything. And then like she was like really part of him, and she let him into a trap.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the show, because I think like it feels like Zuko, like as much as he's a bad guy, he's actually not that bad really. He's just trying to do his thing to get back, right?
He's kind of he's very whiny.
Yeah. Yes, but like he's like
He's
but
very, like-
with his uncle there, like his uncle's like kind of like
He's keeping him in line. His
yeah,
uncle's
Yeah.
like,
his uncle's part of the like the Fire Nation that's not trying to like to take over, just kind of
Yeah.
being like, hey, we're just like everybody else. For our own, there's a reason there's the 4 elements, right? And we're
Yeah, he seems like he's trying to keep the peace. Yeah.
whereas but which then his brother, I guess, is the one that's
Mm-hmm.
that's the king. And
Yeah.
but it does seem like the daughter is much more like her father's
Yes.
like image or whatever, and she's
Does
just
seem
like
to be
ready
that
to
way.
like
Yeah,
be
because she was
evil as she needs to be.
favoritismed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else about the episode 3? No. Anything
Well-
else?
You got anything else? I know you're thinking about it.
Yeah. Like, we still don't really know why the Fire Nation is still in there, though. Like, some of them. Like, we still don't really know. And we know it wasn't them bombing it, though.
Right.
So, like, why are they still there? And how'd they get in? Because they're super strict about it. So, how'd they even get in, too?
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know.
Do we
Yes,
know more about that
Episode 4,
Like-
maybe?
earlier on in the anime or no? Okay.
Because I don't even remember them, like, even talking about that much bombing. Like, with,
Yeah.
like, those people. Because it kind of came up in different times in the anime. So, there wasn't that much, like, about the bombing in the anime. There was some, but, like, not fully. Because they kind of just walked around and they were like, oh, there's bombing. Like, it wasn't, like,
Yeah.
that crazy. Also, I like when they're fighting in the village though, because I remember watching it and Zuko and Aang are fighting, and then there's this one lady that comes up and she's like, "Stop beating that child!" And she hit Zuko with the broom. But the funniest part is that she did more damage than what Aang was doing to Zuko. Like, you could tell he was like, I don't know what to do now. I don't know if that was like out of respect or just like
I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it was. Yeah. So then they're fighting, and then they get captured. That's when they get captured.
Mhm.
And because then Uncle gives
Yeah.
himself up to let Zuko.
And then Zuko runs out with
gets
the
out.
crowd.
Yeah. He gets out. That's right. Nice. Okay. Well, so what do you think? You think you're gonna watch the rest of it?
Yeah, I think I still will. It's just, and I know like Kirsten, you're saying that it's definitely like ramps up from here. So
Mhm.
I just, this one, I don't know why, I couldn't think exactly why, but I just really like the first two way more than this one.
Yeah.
So it kind of was like bummed me out. I'm like, I hope the next one's better.
Well, also, I feel like this one didn't complete the story. And
True.
And whereas like episode 1 and episode 2 feel like they
Little, like,
more
contained,
closure,
yeah.
contained. I mean, yeah, they tease the
was-
next thing, but like they don't like it's not. It's kind of
It was
closes
kind
out.
of more just helping explain the next thing almost.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just
And getting
nice.
understanding what's happening there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. But yeah, I mean, I'll finish it. What about you? You gonna watch? Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Because you already watched the first 3 episodes twice.
Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna watch.
But yeah, no, I mean it's good. It's good, worth watching. I think. Just it's definitely knows its audience and is geared towards its audience, which is not adult men. It's
No.
so, but it's still well done and like you were talking about a lot of the effects and stuff are really really cool and
Yeah.
fight scenes are good and so
Yeah.
it's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so why don't you let us know what you thought of Avatar if you watched it, any of it, and you could write in or leave a comment in YouTube, or
Sounds so much like a YouTuber.
or you can email us at feedback@screentimepod.com.
You sound like one of those YouTubers being like and subscribe down below.
Yeah, we are going to be those YouTubers.
Yeah.
We need the numbers.
Yeah,
Do it, like and subscribe.
like and subscribe, as she said.
Yeah, do it.
I do it ironically, even if you don't like us. Like
Yeah.
and subscribe. So I think next week
This is going to be the most unhinged ending with Kirsten.
next week we're going to talk about Shogun episode 1 and 2 and on FX, or you can watch it on Hulu.
Yeah.
And so thank you, Kirsten, for joining us for this
Yeah.
episode on Avatar. Any last thoughts? Would you like to do this again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, next time we'll try to make sure we find something that you can join in on again soon.
Yeah.
And all I can say is you gotta wait for like the part that's like season 2. I don't know how it's placed out, but season 2 was my favorite in the anime.
Okay. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
I watched that more than the first part.
Nice.
Nice.
Because I knew the first part enough that I could just watch the second part
once you
without
know the
knowing.
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
But are they going to do the whole first season live action, just like
That's
the whole?
We'll see where it
You
ends.
know.
We'll have to come back and we'll have to find out.
Yeah.
See where it ends.
Better.
Well, if any of you'd like to follow some of us on Instagram, Kirsten doesn't have Instagram.
Yep, I got Instagram.
No, you don't.
No.
If you want to follow me,
It's all right. I barely have Instagram.
yeah, I'm at JYoungBar,
And I'm at Jered Youngbar.
all right. And with that, we will talk to you guys next week. See ya.
Adios.